such a nuanced topic, and I don't know. I feel two ways about it, but I feel like there's some I have points. I have points. Okay, so there's this discussion about whether or not superhero movies are like killing the movie industry. You know what I mean? Because Jennifer Lopez did this interview and talking about how it's so hard to make a movie unless it's a Marvel movie, unless it's a superhero movie, in reference to, I guess, the movie Marry Me or whatever that she made, which I watched. Now, here's the thing, like, I do want to see diversity as far as like genres at the movies. I like and we know I'm biased because we know what my favorite type of movies are. I do love a good rom-com though, you know. I love a good rom-com. I love a good comedy, okay? Like outside of boom boom pow movies, like and just superhero movies in general. I do enjoy that. The Marvel movies, like superhero movies, are not the only movies that deserve to be made. However, let me bring up some points. As somebody who's always been into this kind of stuff, into superheroes and stuff, I remember a time where people like me that are interested in comic book heroes and superheroes and stuff like that, we were like kind of at the fringe of society. Like we weren't very cool. This stuff wasn't always cool. Like anime wasn't always cool. You know what I mean? This stuff was nerdy. We were losers, and superhero movies are kind of like camp as far as like it didn't seem. They weren't really viewed as movies that really added anything to like cinema history or like the development of cinema or anything. You know what I mean? They're just kind of like onesie twosie things. They were cool and whatnot, but like not too cool, you know. And then, you know, with the development of the MCU, of course, it's grown into this giant. But all the while, rom-coms have been delivering, I feel, the same tired plot lines, featuring women that look exactly the fucking same. White women, lighter skinned women of color like J-Lo, lighter skinned Hispanic women, you know what I mean? Like, you know, with straight hair. Like it's always kind of been that same feel. And I watched them because that's all there was. Because like I like a good rom-com too. And I watched them because that's all there was. But kind of just like Scorsese was really mad because Endgame blew The Irishman out of the fucking water. And he started saying that like Marvel movies aren't true cinema. And it's like, well, first of all, that's not fucking true or fair. And second of all, it's like, well, mobster movies haven't really evolved much since the fucking Godfather. You know? And maybe, like, you know, I feel like maybe a lot of these genres of cinema have been catering to the same kind of white mediocrity for a long fucking time. And it's like, I'm sorry if I am not interested in seeing the same misogynistic, violent men play out the same kinds of storylines over and over again. Kind of the same with rom-coms. Like, I'm sorry if I'm tired of seeing the same white women or like lighter skinned, you know, women of color play out the same storylines over and over again, where I don't see anybody that looks like me. I don't see anything really changing. Like, do all genres have a formula? Like, do superhero movies have a fucking formula? And it's kind of dumb to expect a movie to, like a certain genre, to really step too much outside of that formula. Like, yeah, absolutely. But I feel like there's elements about superhero movies that have fucking changed. It's evolved. You know, they're incorporating comedy. They're incorporating, you know, romance. Like, they're incorporating, like, depth of character. They're incorporating fucking diversity and representation, which factors in, I think, when going to see movies now and what movies I'm going to support with my money. You know? Also, we've been inside for, like, we've been dealing with COVID for, like, a few years now. I think a lot of us have gotten used to staying inside And now we're faced with this choice when movies come out. Like, am I going to see this in the movies, or am I going to watch it in streaming? Am I going to wait? Am I going to wait until it's streaming? And I think now, at least for me, and I think I probably speak for a lot of people, when it's like, when I go to the movies, I'm going for an experience. Like, there's no way that I was just going to sit here and only watch Wakanda Forever on my sofa. I'm going to the fucking movies. As long as it's safe, I'm going to the movies. Ludwig Göransson's scores deserve to be heard in the fucking cinema with surround sound. Like, I'm going to go watch Wakanda Forever in the fucking movies, okay? And I, like, maybe have superhero movies created a monopoly where it doesn't even, like, maybe it doesn't give other genres even the time or like space to breathe so that they can innovate, maybe. But at the same time, I'm wondering, like, are you coming up with anything groundbreaking? Are other genres like rom-coms and stuff, are you evolving at all? Like, are you meeting the needs of the audience as far as what we want to see? Or are you upset because you can't get away with the same mediocrity that we've just been dealing with for years because it's all there is? And now that we have, and now we have movies that not only like incorporate the interests of those of us who are kind of like fringe of society and just like kind of like nerdy and looked down on, but they also incorporate diversity and inclusion. They also incorporate, like, you know, new and interesting storylines with twists and stuff. They feature women that look like me. They're funny, they're entertaining, they capture my attention. They kept like and I don't see those genres evolving in the same way. I don't see them even trying. You know, I'm sorry, but Marry Me doesn't look that much fucking different than all of the other movies that J-Lo has done in the past. Again, is everything formulaic? Yes, absolutely. But I just don't think that those genres have really evolved past where we were 30 years ago. And a lot of the ways in which they haven't evolved is diversity and representation, which I don't care if you're going to cry about it. Sorry, it fucking matters. Sorry, I'm sorry, but like, I'm tired of not seeing women that don't look like, especially as an actress, as not an actress, an actor, as an actor. I'm sorry, but I'm tired of not seeing women that look like me, and not seeing darker skinned women, you know, being presented in the forefront of these stories. I don't see it, not often enough. Not often enough. Same thing with mobster movies. It's like, a lot of us we're not interested anymore. It's the same thing over and over again. There's no new elements introduced. So it's like, okay, it's like, is the superhero genre like throttling the industry so that there's just no room or there's no chance for anybody else? Possibly. Are they just growing so quickly that it's not giving anybody the chance to adapt? That's very fucking possible. However, as like, everyone looks at the MCU as if it has always been this monster that planned to take over. The Avengers was not expected to work at all. The Avengers was not expected to work at all. People forget that it's kind of a Cinderella story, but it popped off. And nobody expected it. That's the thing. Like like cinema elitists put it down back in 2012 and 2011 when it was coming out. You know what I mean? It was not expected to work. But then it did, and then it popped off this entire, you know, universe and world with intricate storylines and things that tie together, just like graphic novels do. Like I said, it's so fucking exciting, you know. And I think that maybe they underestimated they underestimated that genre's capability to grow into something interesting and did not innovate quickly enough. I don't know. Food for thought. What do you think?